What is up, everybody? I'm No Looks Given here with your afternoon snap, and today I'm going to be talking about why I won't be purchasing the Winter Wonderland bundle that just rolled into the shop. At least I'm not going to purchase it yet, but I'll talk more about that in a moment. First, I want to look at some gameplay. We've got Vormir as a brand new location, and for that, I decided to play Galactus. And on the surface, it might seem like there's not too much synergy with Vormir and Galactus. It is obviously going to be able to pump up your null, but there was one other thing that I thought would be cool to play into the synergies of both of these cards, and that is that one of the ways that you can counter Galactus is with Arrow, with your opponent moving your Galactus into a location where you've already played other cards, thus countering your ability. So the cool thing that Vormir does is you can throw Wave or Psylocke or Electro into that Vormir, and that will blow it up, allowing you to drop a Galactus on a fully empty board. So that way, regardless, your opponent cannot arrow you. So I thought that was a cool enough synergy to look at. We've got the turn 4 wave into the turn 5 Galactus, so a little bit slow on this one, but we get to fully play around Arrow, so I'm going to go ahead and snap. I'm feeling confident that Galactus is going to go off. Now, notably, I should have Galactused into Vormir. I got a little bit confused because my opponent already had a Domino in Vormir, but my opponent's actually going to correct that decision for us by arrowing into Vormir, and like I said, if we still had a wave, we wouldn't have been able to Galactus here. So Vormir really helped us out big, and now for the final turn, I'm feeling pretty confident that we'll be able to drop down a null and get the win. So pretty sweet game, I think, all things considered. We can, now I think we're ready to watch and see what my opponent has. They have a leader. Okay, well, let's talk about the Winter Bundle. So first things first, what I wanted to do was compare the Winter Wonderland bundle, which I just said I'm not buying, with the Cyber Holiday bundle that I obviously did buy, and just talk about the reasons for that, and maybe whether or not I regret my initial purchase. So if we take a look at the Cyber bundle, which I have over here on the side of the screen, the Cyber Holiday bundle, and then over here I'm going to be going through the breakdown of exactly what's in this bundle. So for 7,500 gold, you got 9,500 credits. If you were to just purchase those credits, that would cost you about the same amount of gold. It would cost you 7,600 gold. It's like a 1% deal, but obviously you're getting a few other things as well. The first thing that you're getting, or the biggest thing that I will say that's part of this purchase, because I'm not actually going to talk about all of the other stuff that's involved in here, the variant, the what's it called, avatar, and the boosters. We're going to leave that out of this video. We're mostly going to talk about the math of the tokens, which for 3,000 tokens, that is the equivalent, and I did break this down previously in my last video, it would cost you this many credits to acquire that many tokens if you already have every Series 3 card unlocked. Now, that might not be totally fair because you're going to be getting other things while you are spending those credits, but this is at least the math for how many credits it would take to get those tokens minus the amount of credits and gold that you would receive back from the collector's track while you're leveling up to get those tokens. So hopefully that all makes sense, but I value that at just shy of 13,000 credits, which means it's just above 10,000 gold worth of credits, just buying those 3,000 tokens alone. So in total, you are getting 18,000 gold worth of value for your 7,000 gold purchase. So this winds up being about a 60% off sale. This is for the Cyber Holiday bundle. If we look at the Winter bundle to compare, it is cheaper, so that is going to mean it's a little bit more affordable. And for the credits breakdown, you get a much better deal. You're getting 8,000 credits, which is 6,400 gold. You can compare these pretty easily. These are about the same number, and this is obviously a little bit higher. So I didn't do the exact percentage breakdown because I'm just going to look at it all in totality. But at least for the credits aspect of that, you are getting a slightly better deal. But where it breaks down a little bit is on the token side of things. You're only getting 2,000 tokens, 2/3 of the tokens, so we can eyeball that. That's about 8,600 credits you'd spend to get those tokens otherwise. Again, this is if you already had every card in Series 3. So that way, every 4 collector's reserves, you're opening up 5,000 tokens. So that is partially where that math is coming from. And this is only going to amount to about 7,000 gold. I just realized I should center align this one too, or it is going to set me off there. But there we go. So that's about 7,000 gold. So in total, this deal, you're getting about 13,000 gold, which is still great for 6,000 gold. And it's still a pretty good deal, about a 55% deal. So from that perspective, I do think that it's probably worth it, but I don't think that that actually shows the full picture here. So obviously get all this stuff. I do think that the Sunspot variant is sweet, and I do think that there will be players that purchase this. I guess we got to go into here to take a look. Oh, you know what? This might not be updated. Can we see in the news? I think I can only see this on the app. Okay, so I don't get any Snap news on the PC client, but you know what, let me pull up those things now. So what I wanted to talk about and why I'm not going to be purchasing the winter bundle, at least yet, like I said, is what your credits actually get you in Marvel Snap and how to get more out of your credits. And this works for players at every collection level, no matter where you're at. I do think it's going to be particularly relevant for players that have already completely unlocked Series 3, but I think that there's something relevant here for everybody, and that is basically the fact that the longer you hang on to your credits in the game, the better deal you're going to get. And you do have to balance this with the fact that if you need more cards or want more cards to potentially unlock more decks, then the sooner you spend your credits, the sooner you're going to get those cards, and then maybe the more you're even going to play Marvel Snap. So that could certainly be the other side of the coin. And I'm not saying that, especially if there's some more cards that you're looking for, not to keep on opening collector's reserves. But at my point, at the point where I'm at in the game, where I basically have everything, it benefits me to hang on to those collector's reserves and my credits for as long as possible. Now, there are some incentives that kind of combat this, and that is why I wanted to bring up this page with the Winterverse variant rush. That's something that Marvel Snap is kind of doing right now to entice you to spend the credits that you currently have. And we'll get to the point that I'm kind of alluding to with all of this, and that's the fact that eventually, as Marvel Snap continues to release cards into Series 5, they're going to have to drop some of those cards down to Series 4 and even down to Series 3. And we are probably going to see that start to happen at the beginning of the next year. So if you wait for that, you will get more value for each of your credits, each of your collector's tokens that you grab, all of that. Because effectively, like say I spent all of my credits right now and I opened up Luke Cage and Maria Hill, 2 cards that I'm not going to play in the next 2 weeks and that I'm not particularly excited about, but also might move down from Series 4 to Series 3. In those 2 unlocks with that same amount of credits, I could have gotten any 2 other cards, and as soon as those become Series 3 cards, I'll get them immediately. And the reason that I say that this is applicable for all players is that all players potentially could be getting Series 4 cards that become Series 3 in their Series 4 slot, because you're going to open up 1 out of every 10 Series 3 cards gets upgraded to a Series 4 card. That there's like a it's not really a pity timer, but they call it a pity timer, but it's seeded. But basically, like, it's not random. It's exactly 1 out of every 10. And because of that, the longer that you hold off on spending any credits and buying any credits, the better off you're going to be in terms of overall improving your collection. Now, like I said, Marvel Snap does have this Winterverse variant rush to kind of entice you into spending your credits right now. And for some players, this might be enough incentive. I don't actually... Oh, I can't even make this picture bigger. Okay, well, serves you right. I don't actually love any of these variants. My mind might have changed if there was, honestly, probably all it would take is like Deadpool with a Santa hat on it. If that was one of these variants, then maybe I'd be singing a different tune right now, picking up the winter bundle and trying to open up that Deadpool with a Santa hat. But your mileage is going to vary in terms of if you care about these specific cards. I personally don't really. So for that reason, and for the fact that the longer I hang on to my credits, the farther they're going to go. Now, I still might wind up picking up the winter bundle on the very last day. And the idea behind that will be I'll buy it, and then like the next day, a whole bunch of cards will be dropped in series, and that will be the best time to spend your credits in Marvel Snap, and maybe I'll make a video about it then. And speaking of this, one thing that kind of complicates all of this is I think the best video for Marvel Snap currently on my channel is my video where I picked up the Apocalypse bundle. Or not even the one where I picked up the Apocalypse bundle, but specifically where I opened up all of my collector's reserves from purchasing the Apocalypse bundle. So there's definitely a little bit of a desire to open up a whole bunch of credits and collector's reserves and see what I get, see how many of these Winterverse variants that I get, and potentially get some views off of that. But that skews some things as far as the content creation side of it goes. I think for the most part, like I said, the sale on this is totally fine. But if you want your gold to go the farthest that you can, you're going to want to time your sale purchases with the reduction in series from some cards that you think are sweet looking. But that's going to be tough to kind of find the sweet spot for, and I think something definitely to consider if you want your credits to go as far as they can in Marvel Snap. That is going to be it for me today. That's basically what I wanted to talk about. Just hold as long as you can, though, of course, if you think stuff looks sweet or if you need some more cards, feel free to spend. I think that it is a totally fine deal, just not for me. That was the other thing that I wanted to say. I do have to feel like while I'm happy that the video did so well on my channel, if you go back and look at it, it's me kind of just like skipping through a bunch of stuff that I didn't really care about and then opening up an Agent Coulson, which I also wasn't like particularly hot on either. So yeah, definitely a little bit tricky. Once you get to that end stage of the game, opening up your collector's reserves isn't super exciting, but we'll still do it, and we'll do it eventually. At some point, you might have seen, if you go back in the video, I actually have like 9,000 credits right now because for some reason I'm able to bypass the 5,000 credit cap on my account. I don't know why, it just happens sometimes. So I'm stockpiling my credits anyways. At some point, Marvel Snap is going to catch me and they're going to say, hey, you got to spend those credits. You got to stop stockpiling, because they don't want people to stockpile, because it's very good to just stockpile your credits, and you actually stretch your credits a lot farther by doing so. So at some point they will catch me and I'll have to spend those, and I'll do a reserve opening video when I do so. But for now, I'm gonna see how long I can hang on to all of those credits for, and maybe after watching this you will decide to do the same. But that is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace.